Well, what's up, Philadelphia sports fans? I am Anthony Pinto. You are Chat. Keith Malashevsky will be with us very, very shortly. And we are War Room Philly. Welcome to the show. Here it is. Like I said in chat, or like I said on Facebook, the show no one's been waiting for. By the way, if anyone's got any positivity, please. I'm sure Keith will try to shine it on us. But, see, Keith is always positive, so it doesn't help me. If anything, it makes me more negative. So here we are, chat. It's not over yet, if they're into that kind of thing. But the Sixers have shown some concerning things over the last series. Some very concerning things. And it's no one's fault but their own. Just realized I don't need this screen up until Keith's actually here, right? I'm going to pop that down. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here to discuss this. You know what? Very elegantly put, Kevin. What up, Kevin Christian in chat? It's not the funeral. It's potentially the wake. Isn't that the thing, right? Isn't the wake the thing before the funeral? It's not the funeral, though. And I'll wait for Keith to get to that. But while I have the mic, chat, let me get a second. Because I drove in silence today to work, and I wrote down some thoughts. I see you, chat. Hang tight. Hang tight. This loss in Philadelphia, we love to wake up one day or right after the game, and it's one person's fault. This game was not one person's fault. This game was Ben Simmons' fault. This game was Tobias Harris' fault. This game was Doc Rivers' fault. This game, yeah, it even was a little bit Joel Embiid's fault. Now, I am going to show no hate at all towards Joel Embiid, who is doing damn near everything and more on a torn meniscus. But that was a total team loss. And he could have fired up the team one way or another. And the only time he really had the opportunity, he missed a dunk and then went 0 for 2. Again, no hate, but I calls it like I sees it. I don't hate any of these guys. I love Ben Simmons. I'm going to trash him. I love Tobias Harris. I'm going to trash him. Tobias Harris, I love the least. That game was on everybody. But what I had most elegantly put, I just misword. I got some, let me start with Doc. I guess I started with Embiid. That's all I got on Embiid. That's all he's going to get, okay? We all know he did nothing at the end of the game in both games. But hey, he's on a torn meniscus, and look at his stats. So we'll get into it. Again, total team loss and on all efforts. Doc Rivers, though. Doc Rivers is dare I say, getting out-coached. But it's starting to feel like the Brett Brown days for multiple reasons. And I get it. I know that. I hear you. Doc is known for this. Doc is known for this. Okay, let's get into it. Because Doc Rivers is sticking too much to his notepad. It feels like when, you know, what I said with Joe Girardi even, or Gabe Kapler, or even Doug Peterson at times. They're like, dude, use your eyes and adjust to what's in front of you. Your first half, you should be figuring out who you're going to be playing. The Danny Green injury hurts this team, right? And it's now Doc Rivers has to do his job after the Danny Green injury. By the way, Doc, screwed up game 1 too. That was also a little bit on him as much as it was on everyone else. But Doc Rivers is getting outworked right now by his own notepad. I'm not even saying starting Furkan was bad last night. But why in the Furk is he still out there in the third and fourth quarter with your starting units when you have a 20-point lead? Why? Why, chat? Why are you leaving a defensive liability on the court when you have, that guy Matisse Thybulle, who is perfectly ready to play defense in the starting roles and in the closing minutes? He only put him back in with the starters when it was too late. It was like a single-digit game. That's when Matisse Thybulle came out on the court with the starters. Unbelievable. Chat, I see you going. You're going to have to resend all the messages. If you want me to get them, let me get on this rant and then get back. But I love it. Bring that energy, chat. I see multiple colors. I see multiple names. You have to figure out who you're going to ride in the second half and shorten your bench from there. You shouldn't be juggling in the second half. It's just... So... You didn't see multiple names on the scoreboard last night. I don't know what that one was. That was the first message I read. What up, Rob? Seeing a lot of faces out there tonight. That was most of my rant. I'll get back into it. But the Furkan Korkmaz thing, man. That was dry. And again, to no fault of Furkan's. That's all Doc Rivers. Because Korkmaz didn't even have himself a bad night. This isn't about Furkan Korkmaz. This is about when you're leading by 20, Furkan Korkmaz shouldn't be on the court. You put him out on the court to get up by 20. Oh, I got you. Oh, I see what you did there. Right on. See, sometimes the stream delay between you and I, chat, throws me off a little bit. So, again, that's the Doc Rivers part. And I'm sure there's more, and I'll remember it later. Furkan finished with 8 and 1 3. So he really shouldn't have been on the court in the second half anyway. These are the decisions that he needs to see and make immediately. Maxey got 1 minute. He can play better defense than Korkmaz. George Hill, completely MIA. Just non-existent. These entire playoffs. Again, at the trading deadline when we were like, George Hill, that's all we're doing? And everyone was like, no, we're fine. No, you don't want to mortgage the future. No, don't trade Maxey. No. You remember that, chat? Well, that was a bad trading deadline. I said it then. I'll say it again. I never said George Hill was a good acquisition. I said it was a safe move. It was a scared move. I said I equated it to the Phillies' past deadlines and the Flyers' past deadlines. So again, Joe, you don't even have selective hearing. You have like a warped perception of like you put everyone else's thoughts out there, and it pisses me off. And I'm going to put you in timeout tonight in all of your accounts if you continue to do that tonight and distract me from my own points. Because I am pissed off, and I don't need you to piss me off even more. I saw Seth Curry love. He's got 36 points. But in 2 straight nights, he had a ball in his hand to make the clutch 3, and he didn't make it. That's all the hate he gets. That's all the hate he gets. But again, Thibault comes out in the first and makes his first 3. And he only got 24 minutes. Why does Furkan Korkmaz have 29 minutes and Matisse Thibault has 24 minutes? These are on Doc Rivers. Now let's move on to the more sexy things. Tobias Harris. 4 goddamn points. 4 points. And completely missing in action. Also, saw a very interesting clip. I don't know, did you guys see it? Him and Doc Rivers had a pretty heated exchange in the 4th quarter where it looked like Tobias Harris was trying to get his point across and Doc was having none of it. Now, I don't know what was being said in that conversation, but it seems a little problematic to me. It seems a little bit problematic to me. So I got all kinds of beefs with Tobias Harris. A guy who, you know, we all started to ride the coattails. We all wanted him to get into the All-Star game. And now we're like, well, he's not an All-Star. And this is another, you know, trend or whatever you want to call it for Tobias Harris not showing up in the playoffs. Came out real big game 1 against Washington, a 10 seed, by the way. And really has been... Like, Tobias Harris needs to know it's okay to score 30. You don't have to do it once in a lifetime. Doesn't always have to be Joel Embiid. You can have more than one scorer having more than 30. When Ben Simmons is outscoring you, there's a problem. Speaking of problems, Ben Simmons fouled free throws. 4 for 14. Now, chat. I give Ben all, you know, I'm always I'm you know, Mr. Ben defender, apparently. But, in the offseason, before this season, before one dribble ever took place, all during last season, and probably even a little bit before that, what have I been preaching? I've been preaching very simple things for Ben Simmons. Step 1, be a good free throw shooter. He has not done that. He started to get better, and this season, again, has not been good. And it's been more than problematic. To call it problematic is a compliment in what he is and how he has been free throw shooting in the playoffs. 4 for 14. And going 0 for 2 in some big, big moments. Oh, I got a Keith. Hang tight, guys. I'm not only am I catching my breath. Oh, by the way, if anyone was following me on Twitter and saw that I was finishing off a bottle of wine, well, cheers, it got finished, and I'm on the beer. I truly don't know if I've ever drank before a show. I probably have. I usually have a beer on the show, but that's different than having... we'll call it 2 Probably 3 glasses of wine before I got on, and now this beer. What are we drinking tonight? We got the super double citra. Duber double. I can't read. Keith's calling. Chat, we're bringing in a Keith.
I'm so old.
Why? Are we having more problems?
So old. Well, no, I got confused because we've used Meets a few times now, and like I was like, but how do I get to join in with that?
Because whatever one makes noise on my computer, I'll make it happen.
Well, so. it was not Meets because I sent you a code, but I think it did like email or some weird thing. So that's I'm about as effective at setting this up as the Sixers were in the fourth quarter last night.
Oh, So yeah, I'm trying to get you. I'm trying to make you all nice, but it's.
No, there's no making me nice.
Not having my. There's always something. There's always something, right?
Well, you know what? It's nothing new for us. There's a phrase that generally just goes with us, which is, "This is why we can't have nice things."
This is why we can't have nice things.
Exactly.
Oh, I fixed it.
You fixed it? Okay.
No, I didn't. I made it worse.
It looks okay, I thought. But...
You just cropped all weird. Nah. No, now it's even worse because I messed you up over here. We'll deal with it.
Yeah, whatever. I'm beautiful. Yeah, so, I see your rainbow desktop there for a minute.
It's Nintendo.
Yeah, man.
It's not rainbow. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just a Nintendo.
Okay.
It's more 70s, but I guess it's colorful. And hey, whatever.
Yeah, as I say,
Kids can't have all the fun.
It's Pride Month though, so.
Yeah, so I'll change it after Pride Month.
Display your Batman with pride.
Oh, who's number 6? Yeah, my boy Devonta Smith, baby. Now, chat. Answer the question that I have asked on multiple social media platforms at War Room Philly. And Keith, you can help answer this one. Chat, I ordered on the same day this and a Sixers shirt. This came today, not my Sixers shirt. Is that good timing or a bad omen? Or is it both? He hasn't played a game yet.
I mean, if they play like they played last night, is it really a bad thing?
So I'm saying, is it good timing to be like, all right, it's time to start wearing your Eagles stuff because that's a Philadelphia thing to do, or is it bad timing because or is it just it's marking us I'm hoping that whatever, we'll get into it. Keith, I don't know if you got to hear any of my thoughts before you got on or anything, but regardless of that, let's hear yours, and if you have anything you want, we can start with that. If not,
all right, let me
walk you through some things.
I'm gonna lead with 2 things. One, Joe, I believe the specific bet was they would lose in the Eastern Conference Finals, not lose before or anything like that. So I mean, you'll have to check the tape, but I'm willing to pay up a sandwich if I'm wrong anyway. That's besides the point. My main thing is this, and this is also to appease Joe, because I don't want him to think that I'm a Ben apologist here. I'm not happy with what happened last night for the whole team. I'm not happy with Ben, who only had his 8 points there that he had. I'm not happy with his missed free throws. I'm not happy with the fact that between him and Matisse, it seemed like there was issues with defense, because you go and you end up having a 40-point fourth quarter. You can't say that anybody really played defense. That goes for Joel Embiid as well. I know Joel Embiid accounted for, a quarter of their points, maybe a little bit more than that. 2 of their players, him and Curry, accounted for 74 points, I believe it was. And for me, I just, All right, great. That's fantastic. But literally everyone on that team went in a hole in the fourth quarter. You just can't have that happen. I mean, you had two people show up for three, and I guess maybe they were gassed by the fourth quarter because of that, and maybe that's what it is. But it is unacceptable, and I have to slow down there because if I speak quicker than this, I might end up dropping a couple of
We can curse tonight.
words.
It's okay. I got the mature. I got the mature. I made sure that the mature stream was on. I think people.
Yeah. I mean, I might. It might happen. It really might happen because, like, I mean, I'm looking here, and you end up seeing, like this is what you end up looking at, and I'm not, like, again, I'm not absolving Ben. I'm not. I swear to you, I am not. But you look at that bench, and I showed it last night, and it's just like, how can you say, anything at all when you have, anybody not named Embiid or Curry? 4 points, 8 points, 8 points, 0 points for Howard, 0. Well, Maxey might well have not played because he was, 1 minute in the game or whatever. 6 points for Thibault, 5 points for Milton, 2 points for Hill. Thibault -17, Howard -14, Harris -10. You just, 2 from 11 from the field for Harris. Like, that's like, I'm looking at this, and it's just, this was supposed to be a deep team. This was supposed to be a team that they could score. And I understand that Danny Green being out changes things to an extent. I really do. It's just, it's frustrating. It is very frustrating to look at this team because you blow an 18-point lead in Atlanta. Fine. They're home. I don't like it, but I'll say fine. Atlanta's at home. I get it. They have the crowd with them. That's fine. You blow a 26-point lead at home in Philadelphia. Allen Iverson rings the bell. You're supposed to be energetic. You're supposed to be up there. You're supposed to say, all right, let's take control of the series. Let's go. Let's get this. And instead, you let that little twerp, Trae Young, do what he does. And he actually might be my most hated athlete at the moment. He really might.
They shouldn't have brought out AI this series. Although, shout out to Jay Ziggy, who I was like, who's ringing the bell tonight? And she was like, Allen Iverson. She straight up called it. Shout out to the better half. But yeah, you shouldn't have brought out AI this series because Trae Young is going to get fired up seeing AI in the building.
Yeah,
it wasn't a high IQ move. Should have just brought out Aaron McKay. I would have got fired.
Should have listened to us. They should have listened to us.
Should have gone out and got some underdogs. Yeah, Chris Long, Jason Kelsey. Me and Murph were talking about it on Facebook. He said hungry dogs run faster. I was like, you know what? Why not Jason Kelsey? Why not the always sunny crew? How come no one ever mentions them? I want to see Charlie.
Maybe with I want to see the Eagle wings on their back, even with the Sixers game.
Yeah. I digress.
Just to that,
there might be no more bell rings this year. There might be chat. Let that sink in. There might be no more bell rings this year.
And that to me, if that ends up being where they don't even make the Eastern Conference Finals, might be the biggest disappointment since probably like the Four Aces type deal. Like that's how it would feel to me. Because this team should make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, if not the NBA Finals. Like that is how it is. Like that's where we're at, and it's just
oh my god. Stun throwing out some fire in chat. I haven't seen Stun throw this kind of fire because I just played basketball. I took some shots, but according to some fans, I didn't have to shoot because, like Simmons, I do everything else, like rebound and defense.
That.
Yeah, the fans are pissed tonight. I'm not defending anyone.
No. I mean, listen, it's. I know that, like, look, last night, I think it's just because I was pissed off and I wanted to I wanted to get into it. But no, I mean, Joe has a point that, listen, like a lot of people do, sag off of Ben. But in this case, like, listen, when you see Collins 16 feet off a Ben at the beginning of the game, how are you supposed to do anything?
This is. I actually think I was making that point, and then you cut in, or chat cut in. My brain cut in. And Keith, now that you're here, it's actually it's more poignant. But what are things that I've been saying constantly about Ben Simmons? Free throws got to get better, and he's got to find 2 or 3 spots on the floor that he can dribble to, pull up, and shoot. And that's where he doesn't need to develop this outlandish 3-point game. By all means, it'd be fantastic if he does. It'll certainly help. But at the least, you start at these 2 simple things. You get good at free throws, which up until this season it looked like he was doing. And by all means, it's not from lack of work. It's like, to the people that think that he doesn't work at it. He does. Like, ask literally everyone around the team. He's a gym rat. So it's not from a lack of work. Shaq worked all the time on free throws and still sucked by the end of his career. But this isn't Shaq, man. Like, and if it is Shaq, then look, Shaq has even said, if you're not going to make your free throws, then you got to do the other things in your game. And those are the other things that he needs to do. He needs to be aggressive, and he needs to develop those couple spots on the floor and that he can just take a shot from. And you saw early on that he was trying the skyhook and he was trying things, but he put them away too quick. I don't even mind the misses.
Yeah.
I mean, I mind them in the playoffs. I mind them in the playoffs. At this point, I'm not looking for Simmons to start like trying to. Well, I guess he's lefty, so trying to develop his game. But in a full off season, if he's back, in a full off season, regardless of where he goes or is, I want it to be here. And we'll figure. He needs to work on these things. I don't even want to talk about if he's back or not, because I don't really want to call the season dead. Albeit that's how my heart feels.
Well, and that's what I was going to get at. I know that we're talking about this and we're upset. I actually have full faith in this team to win this next game, because I think they got cocky. And that's kind of what we've seen a little bit. And you end up with, you know what, like I said, 18 points. We're in Atlanta, all right, they had the home crowd. We'll be fine. And they had that 26-point lead, and they just fell asleep, took the foot off the gas, and they got cocky saying, there's no way they're going to come back, whatever. You know what I mean? And that's why that happened. I think that this is that kind of embarrassment that happens that wakes you up. And I know that people are going, well, why was this the one that wakes you up? Why is this the one? Why wasn't the 18? I get that, but you're in your own home. You're in your house. I do feel like, I've seen Ben Simmons get embarrassed before, and then the next game he comes out firing. Joel Embiid get embarrassed before and come out firing the next game. Now, I haven't necessarily seen that out of Tobias Harris, but I feel like there is a huge point that is going to be made this next game. And the only thing that I have a question about is if that carries into game 7. That's the only question I really have. Oh, it totally came through. Yeah.
By the way, you're going to be getting those acid reflux burps because I not only forgot to take my my pill today, I am drinking. I've already drank more before this show than I did all yesterday during the game.
And yes, Kevin, you are right. That's the problem. They don't trust each other. There was an absolute lack of teamwork at the end of that game.
And this is, in my opinion, what I'm more and most pissed off about with Ben's game in this series is he's not even getting in there and doing the thing that most people hate, which is when he penetrates in real quick and darts out and finds a wide open man to let them sink a 3. He's not even doing any of that. Like it feels like he gets over to half court line and he's been handing the ball off to Tobias or Seth, and it's troublesome. He's not even running the plays, and that is
he's in his own head.
It's whether it's him, whether it's Doc, whether it's all of the above. It's troublesome, and could be the reason why the season is ending prematurely. And going into this season, we all said nothing short of an Eastern Conference Finals would be acceptable. And if they lose this series, it's absolutely unacceptable.
And I know
Embiid's hurt,
us,
but he's still out there. It would be unacceptable. And honestly,
Tobias needs to minimum have 25 points, Joe. That's my issue. Seeing him go 2 for 11 last night,
Tobias is afraid to score 35 points. He does it once in a blue moon. Like, he needs to know that he can do that more. He's got the ability.
Now, we paid him to be the third person on this big three. We paid him that way.
I'm really not gonna.
I want to see it.
Today's not the show that I'm going to defend anyone. Maybe next week I'll be defending people again, but it's not happening this week.
Joe. No, I'm not going to. No, I will not accept that. I'm sorry. I will not accept at least he shot the ball. I said it last night, and I will stick to this, to the T. That's like saying, well, you know what? At least Howard, struck out swinging at that low and away ball that he always does. Like, no, we were pissed when that happened, and you should be pissed off right now that he went 2 for 11. You expect better out of him.
And he really
listen.
Go ahead, Keith.
You can be angry at both, Joe. You don't have to accept one. Now you're being a Tobias apologist right now.
It's just,
that's what you're saying.
It's the typical Philadelphian thing where after a loss, it's who's this to blame? Check our polls, Twitter, who's to blame? One person only. Like, this is why you should be listening to us and not the radio. This is why you should be listening to, like, there are so many other better podcasts even than us that you can be listening to. Like, you listen to Giovanni. Dude, little Giovanni's better at sports talk than, like, there's so many better. But that hurt my throat a little doing my.
Yes.
Seth Curry, and again, I wouldn't say blast, but Seth Curry in 2 straight nights had an opportunity to make the clutch 3 and didn't make it. That's all I got to say about Seth Curry. He's played phenomenal. Joel Embiid on a torn meniscus has played phenomenal. Couple of fourth quarters where he's been missing in action. That's a tidbit from, Murph pointed that out on Facebook, facebook.com/WarRoomPhilly, #ad.
Listen, you can look at that.
It's like you're breathing
and say, well, we're both this way tonight. We're both in this, and it rarely happens that we're both this pissed off. One of us is generally calm enough that we actually breathe.
I did say that you would be bringing the sunshine, and it's only got worse since you got here, which I'm surprised.
No, I'm not blowing smoke up in anybody's ass. It's just not going to happen. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not happy, but I'm also not going to absolve anybody. And yes, okay, 6 straight games with 20 points. Oh my God, that's great. I don't care because it's what have you done for me lately? And by the way, 20 points is not enough because you paid him to do more than that. I mean, if Kevin Durant scored 20 points, you say, oh, it was nice. He had 6 games of 20 points. Oh, yeah. James Harden, 26 straight games of 20 points. No, you wouldn't be saying that. You'd be like, they failed me. They failed. Absolutely, they failed. And that's where I'm looking. I'm looking at that. I'm looking at the bench. I'm looking at Ben with the free throws. I'm looking at everything. It's not just one person I'm pissed at. I'm pissed at Doc Rivers for not calling a better game at a certain point because you see that happen in the fourth quarter. And you have to be able to better yourself. You have to be able to make sure your team can settle down and figure it out. And that didn't happen. So for me, I am not going to pin this on one person. It's lazy to pin this on one person because I'll even say this. I'm upset at Joel Embiid. I'm upset at Seth Curry for the end of that game because, like you said, Seth Curry had a chance to make that clutch 3. He didn't do it. Joel Embiid at the end of the game had chances to make difference. He missed a layup at one point.
The game prior, game 4, he and Simmons both had to make a layup to was it tie or win the game, and they didn't. Oh yeah, to win the game. But hold on, Stuns got me triggered. I don't like this comment one bit, and I'm a huge Jimmy Butler fan. But he said, "Guess we should have listened to Butler when he said the problem was Simmons." That's a good point of conversation, but I don't know. Did Jimmy Butler win a championship? He got close, right? 1 year, but this year they got swept in the first round. I still wish Jimmy Butler was here, and Simmons and Doc Rivers, and never Brett Brown in year 2 of that. But yeah, just going back to chat, I also liked from Kevin Christian. I was expecting to be yelling all night with Ant, and Keith telling. Where was the one about Keith? Oh, he said I needed, before he said that, I read them in the wrong order. He said first, I needed calm and optimistic Keith. And then he said, I was expecting to be yelling all night with Ant. Which I thought was good. Ben and Rivers, this is from Stun. Ben and Rivers are to blame. Rivers has been coach 5 out of 8. Oh, biggest blown. Oh yeah, Rivers has been. Yeah, we all know his track record. Yeah, and yes. we don't even need to invoke his track record. We can just. I opened up the show. I opened up the show with it. My biggest gripes. I'll pull back open the notes because Keith may have even missed it, and then anybody have missed it. I started off because I knew I was gonna get in to the Ben Simmons, and it was a slow crescendo. I started off with Doc Rivers, worked my way from George Hill all the way up through the gutless bench, and then also why the bench was gutless, potentially because of Doc Rivers. And yeah, so my notes here that I had, this was when I was driving in silence to work this morning. Doc Rivers should be using the first half of these games, especially when they're in the lead, to be figuring out who am I playing in the second half as far as the bench. If Furkan Korkmaz is, I don't know, something like 2 for 7, I don't need him to get to 2 for 7. I know right off the bat he's not going to be having it, and I especially don't need to see Furkan Korkmaz in the second half with a 20-point lead, which he has had time to do in the last 2 games, because Doc Rivers is getting stuck, much like Brett Brown, on these substitution packages, and he's not letting the game and the flow and anything, for him. He's not letting anything play. He's got his head in the notepad, and you need to have your head in the game. So Doc Rivers has been doing all these things. George Hill has been misused or, hasn't been performing. Shake Milton was hot, and then he just lets him goes to waste again. It's mind-boggling how his head, again, it's my biggest gripe with Doc Rivers right now is his head is so far in the notepad. So far in the notepad.
All I gotta say is this: it's infuriating to see how the coaching has gone on for Doc, because, like you said, somebody gets in on a run like that where they are really, really, really cold. I just don't get how you force that, and I understand we have limited options. I do. I really do get that. I don't know what went into Maxey. I didn't watch all of the game. I missed pieces of it, so I don't know if Maxey got hurt or something. But I don't know. I don't know why he only played 1 minute. But at that point, maybe I'm playing Maxey, instead of him, because even if I'm not getting anything, offensively, I feel like Maxey's still even better defensively than Furkan is. I'm literally trying anything and everything possible to do that. You look at these situations and we're going down, and like Kevin said in chat, like it's dumb to point out 2 people, because Doc could have coached better. He could have done that. Ben could have made some free throws.
It was top to bottom. It was top to bottom.
Yeah. Tobias
Oh,
2
I'm
for
sorry to cut
11.
you off.
You're not gonna make more than 2 shots in a game, and you're paid a max contract. You're not gonna make 10 free throws, in there. You're not gonna make at least some of those free throws in there, Ben. You're out there, and you're gonna fall apart in the fourth quarter, Joel. You're supposed to be an MVP. Seth Curry. You're supposed to be a lights out shooter, and you're gonna go ahead and miss a dagger three that you could have. Matisse Thybulle, you're touted as a future defensive player of the year, and you're going to play garbage defense in the fourth quarter. Listen, every single player is at fault. Dwight Howard, 0 points. 0 points.
Yeah, I mean, Dwight's not there to get you points. They're more bonus.
Yeah, but he's got one basket. Come on, like one.
I
One
get it.
basket.
The only time he's really getting in there offensively is, it's the one thing George Hill does right is he hits them for the alley oops, but they were missing that. In game.
Yeah, I would say George Hill didn't do anything either, and George Hill, is supposed to be a decent shooter and great at defense, and obviously we didn't see much of that either. Like, listen, I just Shake Milton 1 for 5, George Hill 1 for 5, like. Yeah, all right, they shot. It doesn't mean anything if you're going to miss. Like Furkan going 2 for 7. Oh, yeah. Like it bothers me and it boggles my mind.
Yeah, but he was a plus 22.
That cold.
Come on. Isn't plus minus a useful stat in both sports of hockey and basketball?
It is to an extent. I'll give it that. Like you kind of have to, look at it a little bit. It's not like you can't say anything about it, but I just, dude, that fourth quarter was a complete failure, top to bottom, head coach to the bottom bench player.
Yeah, I keep
Son, you're ignoring the point that I'm getting at. Like you and Joe both are not hearing what I'm saying, and I'm going to stop responding because if I respond, I'm going to get extremely foul-mouthed about it because it's almost the exact and I've said this to Joe in chat. I've said this in chat to Joe. It's like the people who blame Giroux for everything wrong on the Flyers. You're dead wrong about it. It involves more than just one player. And if you can't see that a team sport involves more than one player, I don't know what to tell you. Sorry, I'm getting angry.
Can you just stroke their ego and say, yes, it was Ben Simmons' fault?
You know what? Yeah. Hey, well, it's Ben Simmons' fault. Let's just go. Let's do it now. Yeah. F Ben.
But Keith got his acting career back there real quick. But no, for real, we're trolling. But it was Ben Simmons' fault too. Like it was Ben Simmons' fault too. He's up there. When I started, I named 3 people. I shouted out 3 in no particular order. It was Doc. It was Ben. It was Tobias, and then it was also everyone. But those are the 3 bad stars of the game.
Joe, do you have I wanted to say something terrible there. Do you have something stuck in your ears? Like, do you not know how to listen? Because no, we talked about how we don't like that. I don't know how many ways I have to say we don't like the Ben doesn't shoot.
Yes, I've already.
Do you understand words that are coming out of my mouth?
I've already said twice that all season I've preached 2 things, and all of last season I've preached 2 things. Ben needs to do one thing. He needs to do, not one thing. He needs to do one, which is shoot free throws better. He has got worse at that this season. Not by lack of effort, but he has got worse by this season. That's a fact. That's not acceptable. And 2, he needs to find 2 to 3 spots on the floor to pull up and shoot from. Clip it. Can someone clip it so that I can just replay this every time for the idiots? Clip it. That's what we want. You start there. I don't need him to experiment with his outside game in the playoff, but you start there. And he has not done that. And that is unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
Again, things that we have already said this show. For the haters in the back that can't hear.
But that the last any of that, to be honest with you, because I refuse at this point, because it's almost asinine for me to try to respond to any more. So I'm going to say this, for the next game, I need to see an all around better performance. I mean, obviously, I know we looked at Joel Embiid, 37 points. That's great. That's fine. That's fantastic. But I need to see a 37 points over 4 quarters with effort everywhere and not like falling apart. I need to see that you game, because now at this point, it's almost like the opposite of the beginning of the series where the Sixers finished strong but didn't start strong. So I need to see one of these games, and by one, I mean the next game. I needed to see 4 quarters of just front to back domination, because I think we've seen that this team can dominate the Hawks, but they haven't figured out how to dominate them the entire game.
Yeah. Kev, you got me. I was trying to find emojis to send you as a reply, but you got me on that last comment. Yeah, now my chat's all messed up. I can't see anything.
I had turned off chat, like I wasn't, and I had to turn it back on when you said that.
But getting back to something, I don't even know. I guess moving forward, for where are we at on time here? Where I can't see. We've been live for 49 minutes,
an hour,
so
yeah.
We can move forward for a little bit. Do you have any faith that the Sixers win this series?
It's there. It's dwindling fast. Like, it really is.
Would you say Game 6 is a
do
must
have
win?
some faith. Oh, man. Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know, man.
Oh, you know what I just noticed, Keith? My you can't see my face on our video chat. I just noticed this right now. Right? Or can you? On our Google Hangouts, can you see me?
No, I don't really watch the Google Hangouts because I put up the chat on our Twitch, so good. It doesn't bother me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I make these faces at you in the side camera. I just realized it's off or no. I guess you still see them then if you're watching.
I do still see them. It's just a little different, A
little delayed. I don't know which.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know which to drink right now because I'm really dehydrated, but beer is good.
Beer is good. Beer is good. Beer is good, and stuff. I was.
And I also made one note, and it's late in the show, and I'll get to it. Not for nothing. Second half, crowd was really quiet too. They could have been a little more raucous in that third quarter when the lead was still extending. But not for nothing. Not that it's the crowd's fault. It's not. Like I said, it's no one's fault but the Sixers. But it came through the difference in decimals. Decibels? Decimals.
Decibels.
Ricky! Did I mess that one up? But yeah, it was like, it went from being the loudest I had heard at this playoffs to, is there only 10,000 in the building? And that wasn't only when the Sixers were losing. And that kind of pissed me off. Because I felt like the fans thought it was in the bag too.
They did. They totally did.
And for me, I sit in pins and needles the whole game, always. And especially with this team. Especially with what we've seen over the years with this team in second halves. And again, the energy that this team has came out with in the last 2 second halves. The last 2 second halves, man, have felt like Brett Brown was still on this team. Like they went in there and whatever was said at halftime just totally turned the team off. And they just came out lethargic or I don't even want to say cocky, because when you're playing cocky, there's at least some swag.
Yeah.
Now, I get it. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons mannerisms, they kind of keep a cool, like, it's hard to read them most of the time. And that makes things even harder. But, you've also seen you've also seen Joel Embiid, not be shy to talk shit when it's time to talk shit. Like when he slams in Capella's face after, to prove a point. And there was none of that. And yo, Kev's just making me into the hot take. Kev's just making super there was a lot. But see, you can't get mad at the Atlanta rappers being in Philly because they take Meek into Atlanta and he reps it there. So at least it's even. Like Lil Baby or whatever his name is, he's there with the Sixth Man and Meek, and like I at this point I'm just like that dude, that old, I forget his actual name, but I know he's like the 76th man is his Instagram. He's the most interesting man in the world. The dude that's he's always out there on the front court waving his towel.
I gotta check that out. I actually have not. I have not noticed him.
If you've watched Sixers games, you have 100% seen him waving his towel, and he's always, not always, but these playoffs he's been taking Meek and Lil Baby, and then they even went to Brooklyn and watched the Bucks and Nets game 5, I think it was. So yeah, I digress.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I getting back to it though, Keith. As far as me, I can see. Is there a puppy? I hear a puppy.
There is. Yes. I was like, you hear the jingling, don't you?
Is the underdog there? I hear the tail. The underdog. I hear the tail.
Oh, look at that! It's the new underdog. Not the original. The original is always the best.
It's not a competition.
Sorry to make you. I'm making you sad already on this, but yes,
I was the one that said it's the underdog. Yeah, it's fine.
But this is Dandy. For those who don't know, this is my puppy. She's gonna be a seeing eye dog. She's 10 weeks, and she can't sit. She can sit still about as long as you can, Anthony. Which is, this show has probably extended that by a full hour beyond normal.
Yeah, but anyone like I have I'm more made to do video, or not video, I mean audio, but then I'm also Italian, so I talk with my hands a lot. So I'm like, I like to have audio or video. God, why is my brain backwards right now? But yeah. Yeah, it's good to have the fur friends in chat.
Yes.
In chat.
Yes.
But you know what I mean. We digress.
In the real, yeah.
Back to game 6. Look, I've said it multiple times. It's not over yet. Do I feel good? No. But I'm not gonna lie. If the Sixers team flips the switch and decides to be the Sixers again, they can win 2 against. God damn it, Keith! You're making me be the positive one. They can win 2 straight against the Hawks. I missed it, against the Nets. We'll get there. No, I'm just kidding. We might not. They've already done it this series, but right now, I'm questioning what's left in that team's tank after going up as much as they did and blowing both of those leads in the second half. Now, if they can find that little shreddy about, if I'm on that team, that's what I'm saying. I'm preaching out loud that, hey, we're the better team. We have to show up and play our game and stop playing. We have to play smart.
Look, if you can show up and stomp them in Atlanta, that momentum swings so hard for a game 7, and you could come out and win that game 7. That's really what it comes down to. But I mean, it needs to be a crushing victory in game 6. That's how I feel, or at least it needs to be you're in the lead the entire game. I understand the Hawks will probably play as hard as possible, and they probably will keep it very close, but I mean, you need to show that you are the dominant team. I mean, that's just you have to show it, because if you can do that, you can get back home for Game 7. And I think that this home crowd, and I think that everything that goes involving with it, is something that's gonna. Sorry, distracted by the dog. But yeah,
Dog peeing.
no, worse. Worse. So yeah, it's
Does it stink?
no, it's I don't even want to get into it anyway. But yeah, so like if you can get back home for Game 7, you can take this series, I think, handedly. So
Yeah, as I said before, it's a must-win Game 6. Might even be a must-win Game 7. I don't know. I'll have to wait until I see. No, but here's what I'll say. While I don't feel good right now, I don't need it. Sixers could be losing the whole game and come back, and as long as they win by 1 point. If they win Game 6, I feel really good about Game 7, and dare I say, I can already say right now that I'll say they win Game 7. But I don't feel good about Game 6. And if Chad call me out if I should be called out for that opinion, because maybe I need to be more one-sided. But look, we've already been proven wrong so many times, so put the dunce cap on my head when I say this, okay? I'm wearing it. But I find it really hard to believe the Sixers would lose both Game 5 and 7 at home. I find it really hard to believe that they would lose Game 5 and 7 at home. So if you win Game 6, now you got to play. I'm not saying, win Game 6, series is over, 267-5705, Radio Bucks. I'm not doing that. But again, wearing the dunce cap, I'm willing to say, I would find it really hard for the Sixers to lose 5 and 7 at home. But they lost 1 at home. So again, you might as well just say asshole on my head as I'm saying this. But that's how I feel.
I could.
Let's go. What up, Chris? Yeah, we haven't even got to hockey. Now you're bringing up more bad subjects, because not only did the Flyers rip my heart out, but I had Flyers fan 1018 in chat in here. Kevin Christian was he's a fan of the show, friend of the show. I mean, we had him on here. We're talking hockey, and I'm all, I kind of like the Colorado, and he goes out and says that they're one of the best hockey teams he's ever seen, and I'm getting even more amped that, maybe my West Coast team will do something. I don't even like calling them my West Coast team, but I like the Avs, and it's always more fun to watch sports with at least somewhat of a rooting interest. Obviously, the Flyers are my number one and my only one. Oh, but man, even hockey has found a way to disappoint me when I thought I couldn't be too disappointed. Islanders are a fan favorite at this point. Yeah, maybe. It's hard to root for anything with the NY on it, albeit, go Tampa. Yeah, I think I'm just watching as an observer at this point. I don't have like a rooting interest for any of them. Vegas or it's Montreal's the other team. It's tough right now. You're not wrong, I guess. But yeah, I would say Tampa's less of a threat as far as geologically goes. Although anyone but Vegas.
I don't get that, but okay.
Yeah, I don't get it either, but yeah, I also don't have to defend it, so okay. If you want to clarify why you don't like Vegas, I guess feel free, Joe. But
I guarantee it's because they're too new.
yeah, I'm gonna be a crackhead though. I'm all on board for the Seattle Kraken. Come on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna definitely be a crackhead. I don't care how new they are. They're gonna have JVR.
You're so hopeful.
Wishful thinking. No, they're gonna have hopeful. No. You want to say so hope? They're gonna have Voracek. That would be so hopeful.
All right, that's fair.
Won an All East Stanley Cup. That would be Montreal Tampa or Montreal Islanders, right? Yeah. Yeah, I guess that would be That would be cool to see on in the history books at least. Flyers are expansion underdogs like Vegas and the soon-to-be Kraken. But all right, we're up over the 1 hour mark.
We are over the 1 hour mark.
Wearing my jersey 1 month from today. The Kraken? You getting a cracker?
I'll say.
I actually a little while ago almost got like a shirt. You know, like because there's like the S, and I was just just for the show. But anytime I wear God forbid I wear something other than Philadelphia merchandise on the show, chat likes to start flaming me. But when you do, I like to switch it up. So every now and then I just throw something out. Never in an important day, never in an important you're never gonna see me before like Eagles Dallas, and I'm wearing like an Avalanche shirt or like a Seahawks shirt. Like it'll never be like that. But right now, to be honest with you, this feels like a diss to the Sixers. Wearing a Sixers shirt, wearing a Devonta Smith shirt, not a Sixers shirt. Excuse me. Again, if my words are getting messed up, chat, you drove me to do this. No, it was the Sixers. It's no one's fault but the Sixers. That's the title for tonight, and that's how it is. But all right, we'll wrap it up on how we're feeling about the rest. So Keith, any other thoughts on the series, and then we'll move into damn Keith, I didn't even see you type. You're talking in the chat. You were looking off into the distance.
I'm multitasking. I'm multitasking. My dog's wreaking havoc in the house, so I'm trying to do that. And I'm like, all right, I might need to get up a minute. Somebody has some chat stuff.
What's the movie or whatever? I can't remember if it's a show or the movie, but he's like texting the guy as he's talking. He's like, "Oh, I think it's rude to not make eye contact when having a conversation," and then he like sends like the person a text. But yeah. I digress.
I'm trying to figure out what movie that is.
It might be Parks and Rec. Like it might not even be a movie. But
it might be a series.
It's either Parks and Rec or it's a movie, or it's something else. Those are the only options. But yeah. Any final thoughts in chat? We aired our grievances about Game 5, and if you have any final thoughts about Game 6 or the series, now's the time. And then we'll move into the 2-minute warning and the real final thoughts of the show. And that's when everyone can get your random thoughts in, like jerseys and everything. So Keith, anything that you missed?
Pray things go well.
So I was chat. Let the record show that on the night of June 16th, and it's the 17th, I looked at the 6th and said 6. On the night of June 17th, I was the more positive one. 18th, in some places, in Italy. Why did I say Italy in a Scottish accent? What the hell is wrong with me tonight? In Italy. I digress. So my final thoughts. Again, I don't feel great about it right now. I was just tied the game. I don't feel great about it right now because I still feel really bad about what happened the last 2 nights. Not 2 nights, but 2 games. But as I've said to every hater that has approached me today, because God forbid I had fun this Sixers season, it's not over yet. And even if it is, it's year 1. So that's how I feel about the series and the rest of moving forward. Chat, now we'll give you the 2-minute warning, and any and all nonsense is welcome as we wrap up for tonight. Keith, you got anything?
No, that's it.
He said the dog is my nonsense.
Yeah, pretty much.
Um, yeah. As far as what do I got? I don't really know. I'm not. I just it's hard to nonsense right now with the state of things, and I kept saying, all right, it's gonna be Sixers and 6, and if it's not, I'll be shook, and yet here I am shook. So I feel like I'm shook Milton. But I got a feeling that tomorrow, come game time, I will be getting a little more excited, and I'm not banana milk. I think I think Greg Hall, shout out to We Podcast and We Know Things, and also friend of the show. I'm pretty sure Greg Hall's a big fan of the banana milk, which I don't think I've ever tried. But I don't know where it came out of. Keith, you're not the banana milk fan, right?
I can't say that I've ever had banana.
I know I have a banana. I also know, and this is for a fact, I know. No! It's the strawberry banana Nesquik. Someone clip it so I can send it to him, because I know that I'm that good of a friend. But no, it's the strawberry banana Nesquik that I know Greg Hall is a big fan. I can only do chocolate milk or regular milk, and I'm a big fan of them. In fact, I probably got to give it it's already 10 o'clock. It's going to be a bad morning for the stomach tomorrow. But in about an hour after the beer settles down in the stomach, I'll probably go and get myself a glass of milk and some ice cream.
I still got to eat dinner.
You look like a banana milk drinker. I don't know if that's... but no, I'm a regular milk drinker, and I love me some... Nothing better than Tanner's chocolate milk, Keith. You know,
can't say that I've ever had it.
No, even as the lactose intolerant, you never take a couple pills and go.
Dude, I can't. Like, I mean this seriously. Like,
I guess that's like
it still hurts.
Literally, coming from a person, it's kind of like I've seen Keith when I'm like, yo, you want to get a cheesesteak, and he's like, all right, like he's got, and it's not like because he doesn't want the cheesesteak. He's like, how many pairs of underwear do I got on me, or
how many pills do I have in the back pocket?
I guess drinking milk for a lactose intolerant person is like literally, you might as well just. Well, here's the thing. One day when you're bored, go grab, the small thing, just sit on the toilet and just go In-N-Out Express. Oh, man. See, that's why chat brings it. Because I'm like, I don't have anything for final thoughts. And then we get one little thing, and now I got Keith mainlining it. In-N-Out Express, chocolate milk into the toilet.
All right, I am no longer here though, because now my dog is chewing my cords, and I don't want her to die of electricity. So,
all right, we're gonna get out of here anyway.
Love you all.
On that note, thank you guys all for tuning in. With that, I am Anthony Pinto,
and I'm Keith Malashevsky,
and his wires are getting chewed, so we are out of here. They ain't done. Go Sixers.